Hey, young world, the world is yours. Hey, young world, the world is yours. Young world, young world, young world. Back with some more of those jewels they don't teach you in school with yours truly, New Child. Top of it, y'all. One love. Hey, to my youngsters, to everybody. This ain't just to my youngsters, but especially my young stars, I should say. Instead of youngster, young stars, right? Excuse me. Be careful what you repeat and be mindful of who you admire. That's what I want to talk to y'all about briefly. Not going to be a long, drawn-out message at all. You know, a lot of times, and especially I would say in the last couple of months, I've been run across people here and there that will say things to me matter-of-factly, like, New Child, yo, such and such and such and such and such. Yo, such and such got shot, such and such got killed, such and such got... And come to find out, when they're telling me this, I'm saying, who did you hear that from? And this is what I always ask people. Who did you hear that from? Oh, they said, that's what I hear so much. They said, or my man said, or somebody said, instead of saying, you know what? Now, I'm not saying he can't say or she can't say my man or my girlfriend said it and it be true. But a lot of times what I hear is they said such and such and such and such. Or word. So how that happen? So when you're trying to get down to the meat and potatoes of the story, they don't have that information, but they're so convinced in their own mind that what they're telling you is the 100% truth. So I'm saying to y'all, before you go running your mouth telling somebody else some information that you don't know to be 100% true, just fall back. Now, you may a better way of approaching somebody saying, hey, such and such and such, I don't know if you heard, it's been all over the internet. I don't know how true it is, but just be on point because they ain't saying such and such got shot. Such and such had a baby. Such and such just got a degree and he talking about it on the internet. Whatever it is, it could be good, bad, or ugly. I'm just saying, don't go spreading news if you don't know what you're talking about, especially bad news, especially things like somebody losing their life. And I'll give y'all a quick example. This was probably about 3-4 years ago, maybe longer, but I'd say a good 3-4 years ago. People were calling and texting my phone, asking me, certain people were asking me, hey man, New Child, is everything all right? Because they saying your father passed away. And I'm like, what? I just got off the phone with him. I literally just got off the phone with my pops. Literally, I would say maybe an hour. That's being generous. And then I was getting texts and calls. And then I went to Facebook and I saw it. And I said, what the hell? And I'm saying, once again, I just got off the phone with my pops. So how could he be not here? But somebody heard some information. I don't know where it originated from. But the fact of the matter is, it happened. And it went from someone's mouth to the internet, and then it just spread. And this was Facebook in particular. I don't know about Instagram because I saw it on Facebook. But, my pops was getting calls at his house and the people, hey, man, it's crazy. And I had, and let me tell you, a guy that I grew up with, I had to go get in his DM because I seen him post it on his page. And people, oh, RIP, RIP. I'm like, what? So as opposed to getting emotional, as opposed to being disrespectful or being angry, I respectfully inboxed him. And I said, hey, bro, peace and love to you, first and foremost. Second of all, basically, bro, we go back like car seats, like cornrows on a 7-year-old's hair. In that situation, before you go and post something saying that my father is deceased, I would think you would have, text me if you didn't have my number, contact somebody close to me to get it, or inbox me like I inbox you and say, yo, New, is this correct or is it incorrect? Is this fact or is this fiction? And I would have confirmed or denied it. And he was like, yo, my apologies, man. I meant no harm by it. I just was shocked and, it messed me up and I should have checked with you first and foremost. And that's how we handled it, like men. I didn't yell and scream at him. I didn't get disrespectful. I didn't have to get anything any way outside of myself. I just respectfully corrected him, and told him, give him some food for thought for future references. Check with me first, and if you couldn't get to me, man, go to somebody in the family or somebody that is close to us, and they would tell you what it is and what it's not. So that's just if you want to say a home-based story, but I can tell y'all stories after stories where people have come to me with information that I say, yo, don't believe what you hear. Get confirmation. And I'm telling you, I've had people stand in front of me and tell me, no, but I'm telling you, but they said, and they still go into what they said. And I'm going to tell y'all, facts over feelings. Documentation beats conversation all the time. So if somebody's saying somebody's a rat, Freedom of Information Act, go there, look it up, the person's name, their case, their year, whatever, you'll find out if that person told or not. If it's a situation where somebody, might have said, yo, man, this dude, I heard he was a rapist. I heard he was this. Because I've heard things like that. Oh, this dude is a pedophile. Oh, this dude is a snitch. Oh, this dude is and I say, where did you, oh, they. You didn't say, I went to the Freedom of Information Act. It said this man was convicted of sex crimes against a child. And he has to register as a sex offender. If you need me to forward you or email you the PDF so you can print it out on your printer and read the whole report or case, whatever, I got you. Now that's different. If you can't come like that with me or come with, it doesn't have to be necessarily paper, but I know if it's reliable sources that only deal in the truth, that could be man, woman, or child, or a respectable media outlet, that I would know they wouldn't report that if that wasn't the case. Then I'll believe you. But we got to do much better. It's not just a man problem, a woman problem, or a male-female problem, white, black problem. It's all across the board. Don't be so quick to spread news, especially negative news. I'm not saying don't be quick to spread positive, but even if it's positive, know if it's true or not. Don't just go off of they said. Go off of I know, I saw with my own eyes, heard with my own ears from a reliable, factual source. And there's nothing else to talk about. So keep that in mind. Now, the second point was be mindful of who you admire. Because especially for the my youngsters out there, y'all gotta think about that closely. Because you admire some of your quote unquote big homies, OGs, old heads, whatever you want to call them. He could be your peer. He doesn't have to be your elder. But why are you admiring this person, male or female? You have to ask yourself. I was always taught, don't follow man, follow the truth in man, that light in him or her, in a person, period. You tap into that truth that's inside of them, but be mindful who you admire. If you're following certain people on social media and you liking on a lot of pictures, you got to ask yourself, why? What is it about this person? Ask yourself this, that I really have in common or that it makes me like their photos and stuff. And it'll let you know why you're doing what you're doing and if you should be doing it in the first place. Give you a perfect example. DJ Khaled is one of the most positive sources, if you will, for raw positive energy coming from his page every day. Profile, whatever you want to call it, account. Every day with himself, by himself, his family, his children, his wife, and then his guests. He's always showing them eating, enjoying themselves, not just conducting business, but just fellowshipping, communing. So I asked myself, why do I go to his page and like his post? I like his post because he's living his truth, number one. Number two, whether I agree with everything he says, how he dresses, whatever, that's beside the point. That's small shit. When it comes down to it, I dig the energy. I dig what he's putting out. powerfully positive energy into the universe, into the social media spectrum, if you will, or environment, whatever verse you want to call it. It is what it is. That's why I'm mindful of who I admire. Why am I following this young lady? Okay, this young lady here, I give him a shot, because if she's beautiful on the outside, now that's cool. I may follow. I follow a ton of vegan places and all that, and personal development, gentlemen and women in that space. But I'm just going to give y'all an example about women that I may follow. Because a lot of guys are not conscious of this, right? Initially, she's beautiful, classy, whatever. This is what I look for. And with that edge. So I don't, just to admire her overall beauty and just give her a chance to exert the inner, right? So I follow, first couple of days, I'm going to see what she posts. Now, after a couple of weeks, if it's just a bunch of those pictures, I'm unfollowing. You know why? Because I admire intelligent women. I'm not saying women who just pose for model pics are not intelligent. It's not what I'm saying. I admire a woman who speaks well. I admire a woman who will show you her natural face without makeup, without all of this other stuff and the butterfly eyelashes that are 10 feet away from her face. No. I like to see a woman show herself in its entirety. When sometimes she may be just woken up and she has a message in her head and she put the phone, she's like, listen, I'm about to go to the gym. I don't feel like doing it, but it's raw, uncut, right? It's presentable. She's not looking crazy, but at the same time, she's showing you, she's being vulnerable and showing you her real self without all the extras. If she's too perfect, I don't like that shit. When I say too perfect, let me be clear, crystal clear what I mean. Every picture on her page looked like she was literally done up, model hair, somebody spraying her. I'm cool on that. I'm cool on it. No working out, no sweat on your face. I just had a young lady, I just complimented a young lady about that on her stories. She showed herself, once again, natural hair. She was sweating like a bee. And I commented on her story and said, hey, she works out too, duly noted. Just giving her some kudos. Like, I see you doing your thing, because she's a classy young lady. She's motivated. You can see that she's really driven in life. She has a beautiful aura about herself. You can see she's shining from within. And hey, I support and I admire that. So I'm mindful of who I admire. I'm not just admiring anybody just because they have money, just because they have a lot of attention around them, or people that know them, and I don't care about all that. Man, listen. I want to see life in color every day. So when I scroll down my social media, if I got to see that boring shit, just pictures all day, I don't want to look at that. Not on my feed. Now, if I'm looking at a magazine that's a fashion magazine, okay. But on social media, I don't want to see that, man. I want to see some dope videos. I want to see you traveling. I want certain things that just blow my mind. Damn, man. Yo, man, dude just did 150 push-ups. All right, man. Yo, this young lady, man, she's a beast on the track, man. I got to step my running up. Oh, man, this young lady just wrote a book. Oh, man, she just started her own lingerie line. Man, you see what I'm saying? This is what I like to see. I'm mindful of who I admire. I'm not just admiring anybody for anything. That's out. Because that's how you allow garbage into your brain, into your world. And then you know what happens? You start speaking garbage because you're seeing and feeding the eyes and the brain and, all of this garbage. Sex, drugs, drinking, backdooring, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Violence and, videos of people sending you videos of people, getting shot and their brains blow. I don't want to see all of that shit. I don't mind seeing life as it happens in real time, but it's just certain things, especially when you come from the background that I come from, I don't want to see too much violence like that. Because that brings back a lot of memories of what I grew up, unfortunately, as a young kid in East Harlem witnessing so much violence and having violence hit home and losing a brother to murder and friends to murder, back to back to back to back to back. So I try to feed myself more and more life every day, and you should too. All right, take that and run with it, y'all. I'll talk to y'all in a minute. One love.